Welcome to session 9 of Docker Administration. In this session, we are going to learn about the public and private registries. So this is a theoretical as well as a practical session. But theory I will explain with along with the practical so that you will understand it properly. Okay. And what we have learned so far about the registries, that we have different kind of registries like public and private registries. Okay. And for example, we have a Docker Hub. Okay. And whenever we work with the Docker, okay, specifically in terms of the images, so we can push and pull the images from the different registries. Okay. So that we are going to cover practically in this session, how we can create our public or private registries in Docker Hub. Okay. And then we can pull the images and then we can push the images to the public registry as well as to the private registry. Right. So before we execute the lab, okay, then before that, let me give you a quick recap specifically related with the images what we have learned so far. And specifically, if we talk about the container or images, so container or images, what we have learned so far is that a container image contain the software application code and all of the dependencies, which is a lightweight OS image. Right. So a package which contain your software application code and all the dependencies along with the lightweight OS image, it is called the image, or you can say it is a container image. Right. So container image is a lightweight and a standalone file that include everything need to run a piece of software, such as code, runtime, libraries, and dependencies. And using that image, we can spin up the multiple containers. And containers are the running instances of the Docker image. Okay. You can also say it as a process of your applications. Right. And the architecture that we have learned so far is that we have a Docker engine. That means we have installed the Docker. So once Docker is there, then we can have a different kind of a image, either pre-built image, or we can create our own custom images as well. Right. And if we are going to use your own custom images, for that we need Docker file. And with the help of Docker file, we can create our own custom images. And once the images are in place, then we can have a running containers. Right. And to share the images with other in the team, or with some other respected owners, okay, we have a Docker registries. And not specifically Docker registries, you can have a multiple kind of registry. That is, as we explained in the previous sessions as well, there are a lot of cloud service providers, uh, those are providing the different kind of registries. So you can use any of the registry services according to your requirement, or if you require, then you can create your own on-premise registry as well. Okay. And we can push and pull images to the registries. And then to interact with your Docker, we have a Docker client. And with the help of Docker client, we can run the different kind of a command to manage the resources in the Docker. Now, in a nutshell, we specifically need an image for a runtime container. That means the image is the prerequisite, right? So now what we are going to learn in this session is about the Docker registry. Okay, how we can create our own public and private registry in Docker, and then how we can push and pull the images from the Docker registry. Okay, so let us execute, or let us go with the practical session. So let me first log into my Linux machine, okay, which we have created on the AWS. So let me go to Putty, and then I will select my private key, which I have created during the creation of my Linux machine. Okay, and let me log in. So the default user, as I explained, which is EC2-user in your AWS machine, and the authentication will be with the help of our private key that we have selected. Okay. And now let me check the Docker images. There is no Docker images. Okay. And I can check the status as well of the Docker. So for that, I have to run the command system ctl status and then Docker. Okay. Now I can see the Docker is up and running. Right. So now let me go to our plan. Okay. What the plan that we are going to execute. So this is the plan with the step-by-step commands, which you can download from the resource section of the course. Okay. And I have given the each and every command in detail. Okay. And I'm going to explain it with the execution as well. So let's recap. Okay. The few commands that we have learned so far. So although we have a detailed session on the Docker command, which is the session 11. Okay. But according to the requirement, whenever we are moving ahead with the different sessions, we have to understand few of the command. For example, few command we have to understand when we learn the installation, then we learn the Docker CLI. Okay, so these are certain basic command that we have learned so far. The Docker is the Docker CLI command line interface that we use to interact with the Docker. And these are certain command to check the version of your Docker, to check the detailed information about your Docker, To check the images, we run the command docker images, and to check the containers, we run the command docker ps and -a option. Okay, to check the running and all containers. How to remove the container with the help of rm command, and how to remove the images with the help of rmi command. Then we have seen one example for the hello image. Okay, hello world image, where we created a container with the help of docker run and image command, where run is used to spin up the containers using a particular image. Right. So these are the some basic commands that we have learned so far. Okay. So in this session, we are going to learn two more options. Okay. That is Docker pull and push. So Docker pull is used to pull the image from your registry, whether it is a public or private. Similarly, we can use the Docker push command as well. If you would like to push the image from your local system to any of your registry, whether it is a public or private, we can use the Docker push command. Right. So now first thing is that you have to create your account in the Docker Hub. Okay. So for that, you can go to hub.docker.com. Okay. The creation of account is very straightforward. You just need to provide some your basic details, including your valid email address. Okay. And then you can create your account. So you can, once you're on the hub.docker.com, you can click on the sign up. Okay. And with the sign up, you can provide some of your basic details, and then your account will be ready in a few seconds or a minute of a time. Right. So once your account is ready, you can just click on the sign in, and here you to provide your email ID which we have used to sign up. Okay. And let me log in with my ID. Okay. And then let me provide the password. So this is the Docker registry. Okay. Similarly, as I was saying that there are a lot of registries are available from the different cloud service providers. So you can use any of the cloud service providers along with the Docker as well. Okay, whatever is feasible for you. So now once you have logged into your hub.docker.com, okay, now this is the option. By default will end up on the repositories. Okay, and from here you can create the repository as well, create a repository. Okay, otherwise you can click on this drop box, and from here you can go to the Docker Hub. Okay, so inside the Docker Hub you can click on the repositories. Okay, so here you can create your repository. Okay, so now before creating a repository, one thing that you have to understand, this is the default your account name. Okay, so whatever the username that you will specify for signing up for the email ID, based on that it will automatically create an account ID for you. So in my case it is digitalk.fmw, and this ID will be visible here as well. Once you will click on the drop box of the profile option, then you can see your account ID here as well. This account ID is very important because this account ID will be utilized when we are going to check in or check out the images from your registry. Right. So this will be created by default. So once you will click on repository, it will be displayed here as well. Okay. So now if you would like to search for the registries, then you can search inside here. Okay. And if you would like to search in the Docker Hub, not in specifically in your registry, you can click on the here as well. This is the search box that we are seeing at the top. Right. So for example, if you would like to check for the Nginx image, you can click on this one, Nginx. Okay. And here you can see that these are the different available Nginx images, which is available on the Docker Hub. So you can download any of the image. Okay, with the help of docker pull command from the Docker Hub. So these are available as a public images. Okay, so that means they are available for anyone to download. Okay, and once you click on any of the image, for example, I have clicked on the Nginx image, so here you will get the command as well. Okay, this is the command to pull this particular image, docker pull in Nginx. Okay, with the help of this command, you can pull this particular image to your local system. Okay, so this is the way how you can search for the different public images. Okay, which you can download easily. So now we are going to create our own registry. Okay. So for that, let me go to the Docker Hub again. And once inside the Docker Hub, we have to click on the repositories. Okay. So here you can see there is an option called create a repository on the right hand side. So click on create a repository. Okay. So here, once you are going to create the repository, the first thing you have to provide a name for the repository. If you would like to add a description, you can add a description here. And here you can see the visibility is a public and a private. So if you are going to create the public, okay, then anyone can download the image from this public registry. Okay, but when you're going to push the image to your public registry even, okay, you need to authenticate with your username and password. Okay, this is just to make sure that only the authorized user are able to push the image to the registry. But when you have any of the image in the public registry, okay, so this will not require any kind of authentication. The anyone can download it from anywhere. If you go for the private registry, okay, that means to download or to push or pull, if you are going for push operation or even you are going for pull operation, for any kind of a operation, you first need to log into your private registry. Right, let me explain you again. So when it's a public registry, that means that all the images that we have in their public registry will be available for anyone. So anyone can download or pull the image from this particular registry without the authentication. But to push the image in this particular registry, even if it is a public, you need to log in. And for private, for even for push or pull, both operation, you need to log into your registry first, and then you can able to log in. So this is your private registry. Okay, only authorized user can able to push or pull images to your private registry. Okay, so I am going to explain you this all this in this exercise. Okay, both the operations I am going to show you. Okay, and what I was talking about, this I have explained here. Push and pull image to public and private repository. So if it is a public repository, push require authentication. This is just to ensure that only the authorized users are pushing the content, and pull doesn't require any authentication from public repository. But when it is a private repository, you have your push or pull, whatever you are going to perform, it required an authentication. Right. So let me go back here and let me create a first public registry. So let me give it a name, digitalk. Okay. And public repo. So this is the name I have given, digitalk pub repo. Okay. And I'm going to create it as a public. So I am going to the default option and let me click on create. Okay, so now you can see here, this is the repository that had been created. And if you see the naming convention, this is the repository name that we have given, and a prefix, you can see this is the account name. So your account name is digitalk.fmw, which we have seen here as well, right? So now this is very important, because this complete path we need to give when we are going to push or pull the images. By this name, it can able to reach to this particular Docker Hub registry, right? And what else is required along with this one, that I am going to explain you. So now what we have done, we have created a public repository on the Docker Hub, right? So now if you would like to log in to this your Docker Hub registry, so as I said, if you are going to push the image, then push the image requires authentication, right? Similarly for private, either you are doing the push or push, it is required authentication. So that means we have to log in to the registry first. So the command to log in is docker login -u is the username. Okay, by this way you can log into your Docker registry, okay, from your prompt. Okay, so let me log into my machine first. Okay, this is timed out, so let me do one thing. Let me open this session again, and let me take my public IP from here. So as I said earlier, you every time you are going to restart your EC2 machine, the public IP will get changed. Okay, don't save the public IP. And this time let me take it again. So this is my public IP. So this is the IP I have given. In the connection, I will give the 5 so that it should not timed out. And in the authentication, I will go to credentials. I will leave the private key. This is my private key. Let me click on open. Let me log into my user, EC2-user, which is the default user. Authentication with the help of my private key. So now here, the first thing, we have to log into our Docker with our account. Okay, so let me go to here and let me give the docker login -u digitalk.fmw at gmail.com. Let me specify my password. Okay, if it is correct, then you will see a message, the authentication has been successful. Now you can see login succeeded. Okay, and now we are the password, it has been stored. Okay, so that means you don't need to specify again for the login. So now we are able to log into our Docker account. Okay, this is the account we have created initially in the Docker Hub. Okay, so now we have logged into our account. So now the public and private repository. So we have created a public repository in the Docker Hub. So now we are going to show you how to push the image. Okay, so before push the image, what we will do, we do not have any image as of now in our system. If I show you Docker and then images, there is no images by default as of now. Okay, so to push the image, we need an image. Okay, just for demo purpose, what I'm going to do, I am going to download an image in my local system from the Docker Hub. Okay, and I will take that image and then I will show you how to push that one. Okay, so let me pull Nginx image. So what I will run the command docker pull an Nginx. This is the command to pull an image. Okay, so here you can see that it is pulling the image from the Docker public registry, and from where it is getting pulled, this I haven't shown to you as well. If I go here and if I search for the Nginx image here, okay, so this is the image. So this is the image Nginx which has been pulled. Okay, so what happens is that when we pull an image, that we have to specify a tag for that one. If you do not specify any tag, Okay, then it automatically push an image with the tag latest. Okay, so this is the Nginx image that has been pulled, and this is the command that we have run. Okay, so this command you can check from here as well. So if I click on the tag, okay, so inside the tags you can see there are a lot of different type of tags are here. Okay, you can see there are different type of tags are there for the specific application. And now let me go back. So now we have an image with us. Let me show you Docker and then command images. So this is a image that we have in our local system, right? So now what we need to do, we need to push that image to our public registry that we have created, right? Let me go back to my registry which I have created, Docker Hub. Okay, so this is the registry that I have created. Okay, so as of now, I do not have any image here. This is the I have just now created, right? So now to push the image, what is the syntax for pushing the image? Let me show you. So before pushing the image, you have to tag the image. Okay, so every image that we are going to push or pull, and every image has a specific tag. This is one of the basic requirement for your images. Okay, and also for pushing the image to a Docker registry. Okay, the first basic requirement is you have to first tag the image, and once the image is tagged, then you can push the image to a registry. Okay, so tag is just an alias. Okay, so let me show you what I'm talking about when we say about the alias. Okay, so the command to tag an image, the syntax is docker tag your image name or id, and then your docker username slash repository name colon tag. Now what is the meaning of this one? Okay, let me explain you. So docker is the CLI, tag is a standard command, then we have to give an image name or the image id. Okay, so for example, let me go here. So this is the image that we have in our system we would like to push in our registry. So if you run the docker image, then you can see here this is the docker image id, right? So this image id is required to push the image. So now to tag an image, the command is docker tag and then image name. So now if I talk, say in our case this is the image name, so let me take it and let me give it here in the example. Okay, or either you can tag with the name as well. So when you are going to write the name instead of the image ID, so how do you specify? You have to specify the repository colon tag. So repository is Nginx, tag is latest. So you can specify as Nginx colon tag, or you can specify the image ID. Both options are there, right? And then you have to specify your Docker username slash repository name. So this is exactly the same which we have here, right? So we have created this digitalk pub repository, and then it is prefixed by your account name. So this is the exact we need to take from here and need to specify here. Okay. So with the help of this, your Docker is able to reach your own registry, which is completely this path. Okay. So Docker will look for this account in the Docker hub, and then it will go inside this particular repository that we have created. Okay. And after that, you have to specify the tag for a image that you are going to push. Right. So now we are going to push this Nginx image. Okay, so the tag whatever that you would like, you can specify. For example, I am going to specify the tag with the hyphen 1.0. Okay, so this is a complete command to tag your image. So docker tag, then image id, then your account name slash your repository name, then colon, and then nginx hyphen 1.0. This is the tag for the image. So right now, what is the tag here? Let me show you. The current tag is latest. Okay, and the image that we are going to push to your Docker registry, it will be with the tag nginx hyphen 1.0, right? So this is the first basic requirement to tag your image, and I have explained you what is the meaning of that one. So let me go here and let me tag the image. So now image is tagged, and if I show you the Docker images again, then you can see this is the new tag image that we have created. Okay, so now this doesn't mean it is a separate image, because this image nginx is there, and we have only tagged this image with the new repository name. So now that means this is just an alias of the existing image when we are tagging. So if you see here, the image ID is same, right? So this image ID is same. That means this is just an tag of this particular image which we have used to create this tag, right? That means we have just created an alias to push this image to our registry. Done. So now we have created the tag. So first requirement is done, right? So now this command will tag the image to nginx hyphen, I have given the 1.0, and validate using docker ps. So let me see if any container is running or not. So okay, so no containers are running, so that means you don't need to specify ps, you can just validate it with the help of images, okay, not the ps. Okay, so tagging does not duplicate the image or create a new copy. It's just a new reference to the same image, as I have shown to you, right? The image ID will be same of both. So that means we are just creating an alias, or you can say we are creating a shortcut of the existing image. So tag is done. So now we have to push this image to our registry. So now to push the command, what is the syntax? Docker image and push. Then again, same your Docker username / your repository and then tag. Okay, so this is the complete name which we have given here when we have created a tag, because we are going to push the same image which we have tagged here, right? So what I can do here, I can just take completely from here, okay, and then I can replace it here. So now the command is docker image push, and this is a complete tagged image that we have created with the help of docker tag. So let me run this command and let me show you. Okay, so let me take it from here, let me go here and let me run this command. Now you can see that it is getting prepared. Okay, so now it is going to push the image to our Docker public registry which we have created. Okay, so now it is done. So let me go here and let me show you. Okay, so this is the repositories. This is a repository that we have created. Okay, and now here you see that inside the tags, either you can go tag here or either you can scroll down. You can see this nginx-1.image has been pushed to our public repository which we have created, right? A few seconds ago. And if I click on this one, okay, here you can see here the different details of the image. So this is the way what we have learned so far, is that how to create an account in the Docker Hub, how to log into your Docker from your command line. Okay, and after login, you have to first tag the image. Okay, and once the image is tagged, you can run the Docker push command. And you, during the run of Docker tagging or pushing, what is the syntax for specifying your username, account, and repository name, and then how to specify the tag. Right. So now what we have done, we have pushed the image to our public registry. Okay. So now what I said initially, because this is a public registry, so either we go for the push or we go for a pull. What we need to do during the pull operation, we don't need any username and password or any kind of authentication, but only for the push, you need the authentication, right? So we have logged into the account. We have logged into the account and then we have pushed the images. Now let me show you pull. So as I said, for pull, you don't need to log in, right? So for that, to demonstrate that, what I will do, I will first Docker log out from my account. Okay, so I have logged out from my account. That means I am not logged in. So now what I will do, if I am going to pull this particular image which we have pushed in our this repository, for that I don't need to log in, because this repository is a public repository, right? So for that, let me run the docker pull command. Okay, so I have given the 1.0. So either you can first delete the existing one, because for demo purpose, I am going to pull the same image which I have pushed. Okay, so let me show you. So Docker image. So this is the image that I have just pushed in my public registry, and now I am going to download this same. Okay, so before that one, either you can remove this one, okay, with the help of RMI command, or even if you are not going to remove it, it will automatically delete the or replace the existing one. Okay, so let me first show you. Okay, what I will do, let me delete this one. Okay, so let me give the proper name first. Okay, and then this is the tag. Okay, now let me show you Docker images. So it is removed now. So now what I will do, I will pull this image from my public registry, and as of now I have not logged into my account. Okay, okay, so I have to change the repository name. Okay, let me copy paste it from here. So this is my repository name, and what I will do, I will replace it here. Okay, so now let me try to pull it again. Okay, now you can see that the image has been pulled, and let me see with the Docker images. Now you can see that this is the image that has been pulled, right? And as of now, I have not logged in. Okay, I was logged out from the Docker. So that means it is very clear when we create a public repository, then to push the image require authentication, but pull doesn't require any kind of authentication when we're specifically pulling from the public repository. Now, this is done. So now we'll check it same for the private registry as well. And private registry, again, we will check whether the authentication required or not when we go for the push or pull. Okay. So anyway, for push, so always required. Okay. But in private registry, if you are going to pull, okay, then again you need the authentication. Okay, so now to create a private registry, you have to go again back here and then click on the repositories, create a repository, and here we have to give a name. So let me give digitalk and pvt repo. Okay, pvt and then repo. This is the name I have given for private, and this time I am going to create the private. So I have selected the private, which is only visible to you, clearly mentioned here. Click on create. Okay, so now this is the private registry, and this is the URL for my private registry. Okay, this is my account name, and this is the repository name that I have created, right? So now here, as I said, we need to log in first. Okay, so what I will do, let me first clear this one existing image. So even I'm not going to clear that because that is a completely a public repo. Now I'm going with the private repo, so it's not required. So first I will log into my account with the help of same command, docker login -u and then my username. Let me log into my account. Okay, let me try again. Okay, so login is succeeded. So after that one, as we explained above, the process is same. First, we have to tag the image, and once the tagging is done, then we can do the push. Okay, so now again, let me tag the same image. Let me see what is the image ID. So we are going to tag the same Nginx image. So this is the image ID. Okay, so let me take the image ID. This is my image ID. And now here we have to replace it with the private repo, right? So let me take this complete URL and let me replace it. Okay, and let me replace it here as well. So now earlier we have tagged it with the nginx -1.0. So for my private registry, I am going to tag it with -2.0. Okay, so let me first create the tag. Let me run this command. Let me show you. Now you can see that this is the image with the tag 2.0. Okay, and image ID is same, right? That means this is the original image, and we have two tags. One tag we have created for the public registry, and now similarly one tag we have created for the private registry. And then this is the latest tag for this private registry is nginx -2.0. Now we have to push this image to our private registry. So again the command is exactly same. Only thing is that we have replaced our private registry URL with the public registry URL with the private registry URL. So let me take this one and let me run it here. Now you can see that it is pushing the image to our private registry, which is digitalk pvt repo. Okay, so now you can see the image has been pushed. So now if I go here, I go to repositories, and if I click on now my private repository, now you can see here this nginx 2.0 image has been pushed to our private repository which we have created. Right, this is the command to push the image here. Okay, so now we are going to pull the image again. So now to pull, as I said, if it is now it is a private registry, if you are not logged into your account, then it will not allow you to pull the image. Okay, so now what I will do, I will first log out from my Docker account. Same exercise that we have done in the case of private public as well. And before that, what I will do, Docker images, and I will remove everything. Docker and then RMI, and let me remove this one. Okay, this is a reference. There are reference there, so it will not allow me because we have two tags related with this particular image. So it is not allowing us to delete that. So before that one, what I need to do, I have to remove the both tags that we have created. I'm just doing the cleanup, okay? Else it is not really required. So okay, now it's done. So now the Docker image has been removed. And if I run the Docker and images, now nothing is there, blank. Okay, and I have already run the Docker logout. Okay, so now I am not logged in. So now I have logged out. Now if I try to pull this particular image from my private registry, then it will not allow me. Even the push not going to allow me. Okay, so let me replace this one. So deletion we have already done. So let me show you. So if I go to pull this image now from my private registry, okay, now you can see the access is denied. The reason is that now this is a private registry, and to pull the image from the private registry, what we need to do, we have to log in first, and then it will allow you. Okay, so let me show you login. Let me log in. So login is succeeded. Now if I am going to run this pull command, now this time it will be successful. Okay, now you can see that the image is getting pulled, right? Because we have given the username and password. That means we have logged into our Docker account, and that's why it is allowing us to pull the image, right? So this is the net action plan what we have followed. So we have, let me give you a recap. We have created an account on the Docker Hub, right? And then we have logged into our account from the Docker. Then we have created the public and private repositories. For the public and private, both registries, we have seen how to push and pull the image. Before that, we have to create the tag. Once the tag is done, then we can push the image. And when it is a public registry, then to push requires authentication, but pull doesn't require the authentication. When it is a private registry, we have to push or either pull. It both require the authentication. And what are the exact command and step by plan? This completely we have covered in this session, and this document you can download from the resource section. Okay, thank you.